right. Hello, everybody. I think we are live. It's time for a solo cruise chat with Meredith of Cruises Solo. But first, I want to make sure that I'm live and that everybody hears me. If let me pull up, where is my chat? So let me pull up the chat. If you are, here we go. All right. So if you are live, if we are live and you are hearing us, let me know. So today I am chatting with Mer Cruises Solo, and I'm so excited because I have been watching her last series in as she's done on she sailed Norwegian Spirit, which I am so excited about getting into. It was a cruise to I think Southeast Asia, and I'm excited to talk about that. Plus, she's done a lot of other cruises as well. She sailed solo, and it looks like I want to get into this too because it looks like she's been cruising. Well, at least she's been vlogging for the past year. So we're going to get into a little bit of that as well. So I see Rook says hello. So I guess you guys can hear me. And Jonathan Page says all good, all good. All right. So guys, I am going to, let's see. Okay, great. Arnie says I'm live. So we're going to jump right in and get started. So I am going to bring on Meredith, and then we'll go and say hello to everybody. So let's bring on, without further ado, let's bring on Meredith. So let's get to this. There we go. Hello.
Hello.
It is so nice to meet you. I've been watching your vlogs for a while. Every once in a while, what I do is just that I just do a search on solo travelers or solo cruisers. And a while ago, I came across, I can't tell you when, but I came across your vlogs and I was just watching them. So I've been watching them, ever since. So that's how I came across you and just started watching your vlogs. And I really appreciate, you and your experiences. And just so excited that you agreed to come and chat with me today.
I'm so excited you asked me to do this because I have never done a live stream before. This is my very first one, and it's a great way for me to like dip my toes into it, not do it by myself for the first time. So thank you so much for having me on. This is exciting.
Okay, so this will be the first of many.
So.
That would be so exciting, and I'm sure for your viewers as well. If you decide to start doing live streams, from especially from the ship and doing chats when you're at home between, cruises. So that would be very exciting, I'm sure. So, all right. So first, let's go through because we may have some of your viewers here. So there's Jonathan Page. And we have Arnie here. And Mr. XXX678 says hi from Switzerland.
Wow.
Yes, exactly. And then we have G saying that can hear us from Houston, Texas. Oh, we have somebody saying hello. Hey, the awesome traveler, Belly Bone. All right. And then we have John, greetings from Canada. Wow. And then we have Cindy. Cindy is saying hello as well. Oh man, I didn't scroll down. Okay. We have, who is it? Zrimpo? Merry Christmas Solo. And then we have someone else saying hello. Mr. XXX678. And Rook says they love following your vlog series. Your vlog series. I'm so excited to get into that, especially like some of the excursions you went on because I have questions. And then we have Iris, hey, Sig and Merkin State, just stopping in by to show some love. We're both awesome. Thank you so much, Iris. All right, and wait. Let me. Oh, wait. I skipped one. Okay, Belly Bone. please ask her about her Iceland journey. Yes, I want to know about that too because I didn't get a chance to watch that vlog, but I saw it and I want to know. So yes, we will get into that as well. Oh, look at this. Mer is one of the best. Yeah. All right. And look, we have some people who are saying yes, that would be great for Mer to do a live stream. So,
Noted.
okay, then we have Kurt, Corey saying hi, and Crystal M saying hello. Hi, Crystal. And let me see. We only have a few more, and then we'll jump right into things. We have David saying, hello, enjoyed your detailed videos. Yes, I agree. Very detailed, which is very much appreciated. And Chris saying, hello, Mer from New Jersey.
Neighbor, hello, neighbor.
Oh, okay, all right. And then Paul knows, saying good day from Canada's West Coast. All right, so I am at the end for right now. But for right now, first I'll do a quick introduction of myself. I'm Cheryl, also known as Sig the Solo Cruiser, and I'm a solo cruiser as well. And my vlogs are about Sig stands for solo, introvert, and gluten-free cruising. So I like to share my experiences about solo cruising. I started solo cruising in about 2016. I've done like 40 different solo cruises. Right now, I'm up to 11 different cruise lines. And my last vlog series, I'm finishing up my solo series, all adult series on Disney. And I just came off Friday. I actually disembarked from Explorer Journeys. So I will roll right into that series of cruises, cruise vlogs. But I am so excited to have with us here Meredith. And Meredith, can we start by maybe a short short or long, whatever, an introduction about you and your channel.
Yeah, I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm pretty close to a couple of cruise ports, and I never really thought I would get into vlogging. But the more I started cruising, the more I started watching YouTube videos about cruising and realized there's not a whole lot of content out there for solo cruisers, especially solo women cruisers my age. So I thought maybe there's an opportunity there. Maybe it's a niche that I could look into doing, and then got into social media a little bit, posting on social media, but then it just kind of felt like the natural next step to do YouTube. And so I thought I was going on a really incredible itinerary, which was South America and Antarctica. And I thought, you know what, there's not a lot of information on YouTube about this. I should probably vlog it. And maybe it would do well. Maybe it would help other people learn information. And so that was my very first vlog series 1 year ago in January. So ever since, I've just kind of continued it and love it.
Okay. So Antarctica, that was your first vlog series, but that was not your first solo cruise, right?
No, It wasn't. No.
So when did you start solo cruising?
2018. I wanted to go on a cruise and I couldn't find anyone to go with me, or, nobody was interested or didn't want to pay for it, whatever it was. So I was like, I should just bite the bullet and just go by myself. And so I booked a cruise on Norwegian Escape out of Manhattan to Bermuda. So I just took the train to New York from Philly. It was really easy to navigate. I didn't have to fly anywhere. And it was the most amazing cruise. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved every second. I made a bunch of friends. I had the best time. And so from that point on, I was like, I've got to do more of this. And then, of course, the pandemic happened. So I couldn't do as much cruising, and that just made it worse because I really wanted to. And I watched a whole bunch of YouTube during that time. And then after, the cruising started coming back, I just kind of went wild and started booking a lot of cruises at that point.
Understood. I agree. I started my vlogging in February 2020. That was my first solo cruise that I vlogged, and then everything shut down right after that. But have our first question. So Alexander asked Mer, what's your favorite ship? Prima is his.
Prima's an amazing ship. I am going to go against the probably what you expect me to say, and I'm going to say the Celebrity Beyond is actually my favorite ship that I've ever been on. You'd think I would say Norwegian, but I loved the Celebrity Beyond. Beautiful ship.
That's surprising because as I was going through your channel, I did see a lot of NCL, a lot of Norwegian, so I thought that was going to be your favorite. Now, was it that you had sailed a lot of Norwegian ships, and then once you sailed Celebrity Beyond, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was. I've done all but like 4 or 5 of Norwegian's ships, and then I went on Celebrity Beyond, and it just, I think the Beyond has the best of everything that I like about ships. And it's not too big, it's not too small. There's so many amazing venues. There's no wasted space. It just checked every single box for me personally in what I like about ships and what I like about cruising experience.
Okay, yeah. I sailed. I have some friends that just got off that sailed Beyond, and we also sailed Ascent together. And they were back off on the Ascent. I think they're getting off today. I'm not sure, but absolutely beautiful ships, beautiful experience. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Let me see if we have any more questions. We have my cruising family. Hey, Peter, saying hello to both of us. And let's see, we have Big Murph's Life saying hello and happy Sunday to everyone. And then we also have Dee Dee saying hi, Sig and Murray. She enjoys both of our videos. And also, okay, just Peter saying hello to everybody. All right, so so you started, so we have your beginning in solo cruising. Now, I want to get into right away this last series because I just thought this was the most amazing thing. And then to see you traveling also on the same ship, I have to ask this first with Travels with Ben because I watched both channels. It's like, was this pure coincidence? It sounds like it was.
Not entirely. We've known each other over social media for probably 7 or 8 months, and we'd both looked at this itinerary previously, and it just worked out that we both ended up being able to book it. So we did know that each other was going to be on this cruise. Yeah.
Okay. That, I was like, that's amazing. But I mean, geez, so many questions to ask about that. Well, overall, first of all, let's talk about your overall experience. Do you feel like that was the best itinerary that you had, the most amazing, or what are your thoughts about that itinerary in particular?
It's up there. It's probably my top 3. I thought the itinerary was fantastic. And just for context for anyone else on the chat, this was a 14-day Southeast Asia cruise that started in Taiwan and went to Philippines and Malaysia, Brunei, Vietnam, and then ended in Singapore. It was incredible. It exceeded my expectations in every way, and I would definitely recommend it. But the only itinerary I'd say that rivals it is Iceland and Norway. That one was up there, really far up there for me as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and we'll get into that as well. Now, about the Southeast Asia, one of the things that I really wanted to ask, well, I'll ask this in pair, like the excursions, and especially, for me, I would feel even as a solo cruiser, especially if I were, sailing that itinerary alone. I noticed some of the excursions you did were not with a cruise line; they were outside of the cruise line, and one in particular that you booked with a group of people, and you kind of had an experience where you didn't know if you were going to make it back to the ship on time. So first, like now, when you're cruising solo, do you normally book your excursions with the cruise line, or are you comfortable usually doing third party excursions?
I am comfortable doing third-party excursions, but I have never been to Asia before, so I wasn't really sure what reputable third-party companies there were. It was less, there were less options on like Viator and Get Your Guide and the typical cruise like excursion companies you'd think. So I wasn't really sure if I could rely on third-party in a part of the world I'd never been to before and didn't know much about. So I did book, I want to say the majority of the excursions I booked on this cruise were through the cruise line, but that was also in part because they were full day excursions. And like you said earlier, like I didn't want to run the risk of not making it back to the ship on time.
Okay. Okay. Now, so during that experience, that the one with the, you know, the boats and everything, were you, I mean, were you genuinely worried that, hey, you might miss the boat or miss the ship or?
Yeah, there was one day, it was in the Philippines, and it was one, I booked a third party excursion, and we got back 4 minutes before departure time, not all aboard time, departure time. So it was terrifying. I've never been so stressed on a cruise day. But fortunately, the Norwegian excursions that were doing the same thing also got back late. So the ship was waiting, which was a huge relief because that was terrifying.
And then I saw, like in that vlog, you did mention that, you know, you hoped everybody was on the ship. I take it everybody in the group did make it back.
That port, I believe they did, yes. But there was another port earlier in the same cruise where we did leave a couple passengers behind, and they had to meet us at another port.
Oh, wow. Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would scare me about, another, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so we have Mary Lee Johnson saying she found you through Ben, enjoyed the two different perspectives of the cruises. And I have to get caught up on that series since the last week. Both of you all have been posting, but that has been interesting to see the different, perspectives or viewpoints, on vlogging, that itinerary. So that,
it is. And Ben and I did different excursions and did different things in different ports. So we were not doing the same stuff the whole time. So you will get different experiences if you watch our separate videos, because we did our own thing for a lot of the cruise.
Okay. All right. So let's see. We have Marianne from Quebec City, Canada. Marie, you inspired me to do my first solo cruise.
I'm so glad. I love that.
I think that's the most awesome thing in the world about vlogging and sharing your experience, when people say that, you inspired them to do, their first solo cruise. So
I love to hear that. I hope you had an amazing time if you've already gone on the cruise.
And let's see, Habanat. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm taking the Escape to Bermuda next month, their first cruise.
That was my first cruise. It's such a great first cruise option.
Okay. And Peter's saying yes. Beyond is a beautiful ship. It truly, well, I assume it is because I haven't been on it. I need to get on it. But if it's anything like the Celebrity Ascent, yes.
It is. Yes. Same class, and absolutely beautiful.
All right. So and so as far as solo cruising now, do you only solo cruise, or do you cruise with friends, other people as well?
I have done other cruises. I've done a couple with my mom. She's gone on a couple of cruises with me when we can make it work. I did a family cruise over Thanksgiving last year, the year before. Okay. And I've done one cruise where I went with a friend and we shared a cabin. But all the others have been all solo.
Okay. Now, is it a preference to go solo, or are you like mostly going solo to share experiences with other, or is there, a particular reason, or,
It mostly the reason is that there's no one else to go with me, but I do love my own company. I love being on my own time. I can always entertain myself. I just have a lot of fun by myself. So it's not like it's a last resort for me. I love it. I enjoy it. And I would enjoy going with other people too, but there's not a whole lot of people in my life that can go cruising or do go cruising. And so it just works out that it's just me.
So are you an introvert? Would you say?
I really am, which is why it's so funny that I am now vlogging, because you can imagine as an introvert, walking around in public talking to a camera does not come naturally to me at all. So that has been an adjustment, taking time to get used to. But I do love the process of vlogging. And I think because of how often I'm cruising, there's so much information out there that people are looking for that you just can't find everywhere. And I think it's important that I'm sharing my experiences and sharing information with people. So I love that part of it too.
Right. Yeah. And you will have people, especially other, cruise vloggers that I know, or even people that watch, they will swear up and down that I'm not an introvert. And it's like, yeah, if you actually meet me on a cruise and I don't know anyone, I'm it just depends on another person's personality. But a lot of times, I stay to myself, I do my own thing. But especially now, when you get people who meet you on cruise ships and they've been watching your channel, it's like, yeah, they are so excited about meeting you and just talking about cruising that it's like, to me, that takes down the wall. So
it does. And like, as an introvert, I'm naturally shy, but the one thing I can always find to talk to people about is cruising and our shared love of cruising. There's always at least that conversation topic to get things started. So
and it's like, you can talk about that forever. And then because of that, you're not an introvert. You talk.
Yeah. Exactly.
We have Raquel from MH Family Adventure saying hello, and hello to everyone in the chat. Now she says she will go follow Meredith. Yes, Meredith has some great content, and I like it because it's inspiring me to do. I mean, I've been looking at doing other itineraries, but some of the itineraries that you've chosen, what you want to ask about? I mean, they are so inspirational. They're different than what people normally do. Antarctica, Southeast Asia. So how do you decide? What itinerary you're going to sail? Do you pick it because you're interested, or you think it's just something different, or something you want to share with other people?
It's a mix of both. Mostly I'm interested. So my goal ultimately is to cruise to every single port in the world. I want to go absolutely everywhere. So for me, even though I say I don't want to repeat ports, I am going to inevitably repeat ports. It's unavoidable because I want to try new ships and I want to do, things that will take me back to some of the same places. But a lot of it is, when does it work with my schedule? Because I book a lot of cruises over holidays when I have time off, and I can maximize my paid time off. But also, what can I get like the biggest bang for my bucks, the most like ports within an itinerary? So I'll compare different cruise lines, and it just happens that Norwegian has some incredible itineraries. Like, it's hard to find a cruise that will go to as many places in one cruise. So that's kind of how I pick mine, is how can I maximize and get the most amount of ports in one trip, basically.
Okay. Now, are you, especially on CL, the big thing for solo cruisers are solo cabins. So do you, what's your take on solo cabins?
So Norwegian does solo cabins really, really well, which is, again, kind of why I gravitate towards them, because they price them for one person and there's a lot of availability. They have solo cabins in every category: inside, ocean view, balcony. So there's more availability there. Some of the other cruise lines, they don't have solo cabins. You have to pay double occupancy. Of course, we know how that goes with solo cruising. I love the fact that there's dedicated cabins for people who are cruising solo, because it's becoming much more popular, and therefore it's hard to find on a lot of cruise lines. And I like the fact that Norwegian is doing so much to cater to the solo cruiser experience and make availability for us.
Okay. All right. We have Arnie saying, are you both going to be on the August 23rd showcase sailing for Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas? I know I am not. So
I have actually never been on Royal Caribbean. That is on my list to try. Yes.
okay. On your list, as in, do you have anything booked? Are we getting some firsthand news?
I don't have anything booked yet.
Uh-huh.
Royal's pricing is pretty high these days, especially as a solo. So I haven't found the right itinerary. I want to try one of their Oasis class ships because that's what everybody tells me I've got to try. So just haven't found the right one yet, but it is on the list.
All right, all right. So we will be on the lookout for that soon. And yes, I agree with MH Family Adventures. Please go subscribe to Mer Cruises Solo, and she put your link in the chat. And we will also mention this at the end. But what other social media platforms are you on?
Mostly, I have Instagram and I have a Facebook page and Threads, and I have a TikTok. I'm most active on Instagram, so that's where you're going to find real-time updates. But I have social media for all of them, and it's all under Mare Cruises Solo.
Okay. And then, so when you cruise, so you're posting live updates on Instagram as you cruise?
Mm-hmm. I am. I post stories for every day of the cruise, every port. So you can actually get different information by following me on Instagram than you'll see sometimes in my YouTube videos. Different platform, different type of filming.
All right. We have a great question here. Jonathan asked, Mer, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be? And would it be a cruise? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a cruise, but would it be?
That's a great question because I said earlier I want to go everywhere, and it's true. The top of my list right now, like somewhere I really, really want to visit, is Australia and New Zealand. And that to me is my next like big trip and location I want to visit. I've never been before.
Mm-hmm. Yes, New Zealand interests me. I want to do Central America as well. I've mostly done Caribbean cruises only to showcase like different ships. But now that I've done that, now I want to start on different destinations. So yeah, that's on my list as well. So let me see. We have people saying hi, and okay, let's see. Who do we have here? Keisha saying hello. Hello, Keisha. And so now we have a question. Okay, Nicole saying what lines have single person options or solo cabin? So I'll let you answer.
For the lines that I've been on, Norwegian is the best, most availability for solo cabins. Celebrity actually has some solo balcony cabins on their Edge class ships. And then you can book as a solo on any cruise line, really, just depending on the availability and if you're willing to pay double the price. But I found that Norwegian is really the best if you want to look for a solo cabin deal. They have the most, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And here's another question we have. Big Murph saying hello to Keisha, but here's another question. David asks, how far out do you book your cruises? Yeah, this is interesting. And okay, do you get a better rate through a TA, through a travel advisor, or directly through the cruise line? So I'll let you answer those questions.
Yeah, this is a good one. I didn't used to book as far in advance as I do now, but the more cruising I've done, the further out I've been booking because I like to pick my cabin location and I like to choose the cabin. I don't trust getting a guaranteed cabin assigned. And the closer you get to a cruise, the more likely you're going to get a guarantee. But two, I always book through the cruise line directly. I've never booked through a TA except for one time, and was a Virgin cruise, which is coming up actually next month. But I like booking directly through the cruise line because I like to deal directly with the cruise line. And I feel like I know so much about cruising that I do all the research myself. I'm a planner through and through. I will make lists for every single thing. So for me, being able to go directly to the source is the way I do it. Yeah.
it sounds like you even enjoy the research in the whole process.
Oh, absolutely. I love that part of it. Planning can sometimes be the most fun part of it all.
So any thoughts of becoming a travel advisor if you like the book?
I get questions about this all the time. It is so much work planning my own cruises. I can't imagine planning other people's cruises, but if I were to ever quit my full-time corporate job, I might consider becoming a TA because the perks you get as a TA are pretty fantastic. So I would think about it.
All right. Okay. So let me scroll through and see if we have any questions. We have Raquel saying nice itinerary. And that itinerary sounds fantastic. We have other people saying hello. And then we have, what is this? Susie Mers, NLC cruise videos persuaded me to book my first cruise with NCL Viva in May 2026 as a solo cruiser. Thank you, Mers.
Susie.
Have you been on the Viva or?
I've been on the Prima, which is its like twin sister. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then you got somebody wanting to go on the cruise.
Oh, that's my mom. My mom.
Hi, Mom. I was gonna say, all right, you got somebody saying, hey, let's go on the cruise.
Take her on the cruise.
All right. Well, welcome in, Mom. All right. So another question mark. So David says, how many weeks of vacation do you get per year? How many cruises do you go on a year? And thoughts of a 4th of July cruise or New Year's?
Yeah, I get 6 weeks of vacation time through my company, and that I've been with the company for a long time. So the longer I've been there, the more vacation time I've accrued. So I typically plan my cruises around holidays so that I don't have to take as much time off of work, so that I can actually maximize how many weeks total I get to take. So I have gone on 8 cruises a year for the past 3 years, but the more longer cruises I do, the fewer I can do. So it's just worked out that I've done 8 every year somehow. 4th of July cruise, I did a 4th of July cruise on Holland America last year. It was great. But I was in Canada at the time. So, and then New Year's, I just was on the Norwegian Spirit for New Year's. Definitely go watch my video from New Year's Eve on the Spirit, because it is an incredible experience to be on a ship for New Year's Eve. I highly recommend. So much fun.
Yes, I did a few back in the day. I think I've done about 3 so far, and it is like the best experience, as a solo cruiser.
So much fun. Yeah.
All right. So yes, Raquel already subscribed.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. And we have someone, see, Didi. Murra, I appreciate how you explain your experiences in showing positive and negative situations. Love your attitude, letting negative not ruin your trip. So, okay, I was going to say, well, let's go into that a little further. So, I mean, because all cruise ships aren't perfect. So when something bad happens or negative happens, I mean, what's your take on it? I mean, have you ever sailed a ship and had something bad to happen to say, I will never sail this ship again or this cruise line again? Or, I mean, what's your take on things?
My take on things is life is not perfect. You're never going to have a perfect vacation. Things are not going to go as planned. Me personally, I say this jokingly, but it's kind of true. I have bad luck sometimes. I have really bad luck with flying. Like 70% of my flights are delayed every year. It's crazy, but you just kind of have to roll with it. If it's out of your control and there's nothing that you can do to change it, it's not worth your time to complain about it, to worry about it, to let it affect you. I feel like it's attitude is everything. So if you just put your mindset in I'm going to let this roll off my shoulders type of way and move on and do something different and take your mind off of it, that is the way to do it, because I just think you're happier in general overall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Oh, do you hear that?
I do.
It's that's a, you know what that
A
is?
train?
That's a ship horn. That's the horn because you haven't done the muster drill. I mean, come on, you sailed so many solo cruises, so I know, the first thing you do is get on the ship, the show, and do the muster
That's
drill,
right.
right? So we got to make sure that you do the muster drill. So we're about to do the muster drill right now.
Okay.
So, you ready? What the muster drill is, and I have to set up for it. Let me make sure I'm set up and everything. So what we're going to do is go through, let me set up my scene. I'm going to go through 10 questions in 30 seconds, and you have to answer, the 10 questions in 30
Okay.
seconds. All right. All right. So we're going to, and then to do this, let me see. Here we go. There we go. We got our 30-second timer there. You see our timer?
Yes.
All right. So I want to make sure I didn't put the questions on the screen. I tend to do that every time. So, all right. So I am going to start the timer after I ask the first question. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So what's the best ship you've been on?
Celebrity Beyond.
All right. What's your favorite port?
Geiranger, Norway.
Solo or meet up with others?
Solo.
Favorite cabin type?
Balcony.
Biggest splurge while cruising?
Spa treatments.
Late night or early riser?
Early riser.
Port days or sea days?
Port days. That went fast.
All right. So we did make it, and we have a few questions left. So let me turn this off. But we're going to go through the rest of the questions. Okay. So let me see. Are we back together? Okay. There we go. So I had a few more left. So we had 3 more left. So what was your most favorite excursion ever?
Geiranger, Norway, probably. The view down from the ship from the mountain. Incredible.
Ah, that sounds nice. Okay. And your most favorite thing about Celebrity Beyond?
Eden.
So beautiful. Now, did you eat there as well, or just
I didn't eat there because I was only on the ship for 6 days. So next time.
Okay.
Next time.
Okay. All right. And the last thing, what's your favorite thing to do on a ship?
Oh, depends on the day. Sit by the pool.
Okay. So on the ship, so you're more you're more into spa and relaxation rather than like activities, trivia, and things like that. Parties.
Yeah, and I think that's just the nature of me, an introvert, shy person, being solo. If I'm cruising with other people, I love to do the activities, play trivia, do the stuff around the ship. But if I'm solo, I usually don't. Yeah.
I can agree with that. It's like it's fun, more fun. Like I don't do clubs or anything, but when I went on a cruise in January with my friends, I hung out in the club with them because it was like we had the best time
Exactly.
together, because we were friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I completely understand. All right, and then we have Roy Murray inspired me to book my first solo cruise too. Yeah. Okay. And look at you have inspired a lot of people. Look at this.
Amazing.
This inspired me. And I did my first solo cruise in January. Oh goodness.
I love it.
All right. Yes. All right. Yes, everybody, please be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to Meredith's channel, Meredith Solo Cruises Solo, and MH Family Adventures. Put the link in the chat, and then you can also follow her on Instagram as well. And see, that's me. I gotta burn my PTO. I enjoy me. Yes, burn your PTO. Use it. And let me see. I'll be doing my first solo cruise on Celebrity Beyond in April. Okay. How do you get so much time off? Do you do something special to figure out how to maximize your vacation days? That's actually a good question because this is something that I used to do, but I want to hear your take on this.
Yeah, so scheduling your vacation time over weekends and holidays means you don't have to use those days for PTO. So I always try to put weekends and holidays into my vacation time. So I'm only taking a few. And then I also like to fly in the evening so I can work that same day and then leave for my flight that evening. And then it's not a day of PTO.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I do the same. I would work in weekends and holidays, even though holidays can be more expensive, but it's kind of like a trade-off. It's going to be more expensive, but it's, less PTO days or, one or two less PO days that I have to burn.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay. And let's see, knows cruising solo and otherwise. So, and let's see. All right. All right. So I'm gonna scroll through. Oh, wait, I do see a question. Let me get here first. And so narrative escapes. Yeah, I get not being an introvert all the time, but it comes down to different types. We're not all the same. I guess lots of YouTube channels are run by introverts. Yeah. And like you said before, I mean, I think it's hard to believe that people are introverts because once you're behind, it's just you and the camera. So it's like once you're behind the camera, you're not looking at, like hundreds or thousands of people. You're just talking to the camera. So even though that, to me, I think you said this as well, that still took some getting used to, the first couple of times, right? So how comfortable are you with it now as far as like blogging, looking into the camera, blogging around other people?
It's gotten a lot easier, and I think it's just practicing, spending time doing it regularly and consistently. I don't usually record anything at home, so I also try to do that just to practice when I'm not actually on a cruise, just to keep myself from getting back into the nerves of talking to the camera. But it gets a lot easier over time, and I've been doing it now for over a year, so I don't care as much now if people are watching me, looking at me, or listening to me. So it's getting easier.
That's an interesting tidbit. So you practice at home when you're not cruising?
I try to sometimes just to keep up with it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So we have another question. How do you fit cruising into your work life?
It's tough, and it's tougher now that I am no longer mostly working from home. So I just try to schedule my trips when things are not busy at work, and I can fully check out of work when I'm on a cruise. I don't have to worry about checking my emails and messages and things like that. So it's tough to navigate, but it's doable. It's a matter of, prioritizing.
Okay. All right. And the next question we have now, we did talk about this on NCL. Do you book a solo cabin? If not, do you have to pay double, or is there some other options? So do you also look for, come across, especially since you like to do your own research, have you been able to find like solo deals, no solo supplements, and take advantage of those? And if so, how often do you see those?
Yeah, they're few and far between these days because cruising has become so much more popular and cruises are selling out. But generally, I found you still get really good solo deals last minute, especially on Norwegian, sometimes with Virgin. Okay. And, the other cruise lines, it's hit or miss. Depending on the availability, they'll drop down the solo supplement if they can't fill the ship. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, hey, you just got to be like Meredith and do your research.
Lots of it.
Lots of it. All right. And my cruising family says, Meredith sounds like me. Yes, visiting every country in the world. So, and let me see. My cruising family I think NCL and MSC have the best itineraries with regard to the less popular ports. Now, is that something that you would agree with? Have you sailed MSC?
Not yet. I haven't.
Okay.
I'm planning to at some point, but not yet.
Okay. All right. And so let me see. Scan question. Okay. Trying to go through my list of questions. So one thing we haven't talked about is dining. So so many questions about dining. First, so I take it as a solo cruiser. Number one, you feel comfortable dining alone. I want to talk about that. And then, what type of dining do you do? Do you go to the MDR? Do you prefer specialty dining? So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big thing for me. I love going out to dinner. In fact, I do this at home. So when I started cruising, it wasn't awkward for me to go to the main dining room for dinner by myself because I take myself out to eat at home. I do that here. So I didn't feel weird about it. I love eating alone. I bring my Kindle with me and I read my book while I'm at dinner. So I like to dress up in the evenings. I like to sit down for dinner. I like to do the specialty dining. But the one thing for me is I am mostly vegetarian. So it is challenging on cruises to find things that I can eat. Some cruise lines do a better job of it than others. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed because I eat mostly gluten free, and then but I also noticed like on some menus where they will mark vegetarian, but they have less vegetarian options than gluten free options.
Yeah.
So so is there a particular cruise line that does vegan, vegetarian very well?
Well, out of the 4 or 5 cruise lines I've been on, I would say Virgin Voyages, and I would say Virgin Voyages does it the best. They have like the vegetarian meat options, which you can just substitute for the actual meat version, which I think is amazing. And I wish every cruise line did that because then it means you have more options on the menu that you can choose from. So Virgin does a good job with it.
Okay. And then about dining alone. So have you always been that way where, I mean, you can, like dine alone, even travel alone? Or was there like a period, something that happened that, made you get over it to say, hey, I need to do this on my own?
I've always been sort of a solitary person. I've always kind of been like the kind of person to do things by myself. If I want to do something, I am not going to let not having someone to do it with me hold me back from it. So I've kind of just always been that way. If I want to go to a restaurant and there's nobody to go with me, I will just take myself. That's just how it is.
Okay, yeah. I actually started from a job that I had to travel a lot too. I had to do a lot of travel. This is when I was younger. And I would have to travel by myself, and I had never gone anywhere by myself. So it's like, okay, either after 3 nights of eating alone in the hotel room by myself, it's like, okay, I don't want to just sit in my room and eat. So that's how I got into like going out to restaurants by myself and feeling comfortable. So it's like some people have a starting point, some type of catalyst that gets it going, and some people are just naturally comfortable. So we have Mac Loves Me saying, what's the big itinerary for 2025? So I don't know if this is something that, I don't know if you've announced on your channel or if you do announcements, but is there anything that you want to share about like any cruises you have booked, or do you like to just have, just wait?
So I have 3 pretty big cruises booked this year. I'll say one of them for right now.
Okay.
And if you're in my channel enough, you'll have heard me talk about the other ones that I'm doing. But the big one for this year that's coming up in the second half of the year is I'm doing Hawaii on Pride of America. And it's one that's been at the top of my bucket list for a very long time. So I'm extremely excited for that cruise.
Okay. Oh, that sounds exciting. Hawaii. Yeah, that's on my list too. All right, and David is confirming, yes, Oasis class on the RC. He's saying you will love it. So, yeah. All right, and we have Mac Leslie asking, do you have a great status with Norwegian? I think you talked
I
about
am
this.
Sapphire with Norwegian. They do pretty good perks. It's, they have early boarding, they have free laundry, you get discounts on spa treatments, all kinds of stuff. It's pretty good.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I get everybody else's questions. And I see Shariba C say, what's your favorite cruise destination been so far? I think we mentioned it, but we can talk about it again. She said, I'm late if you had already answered this, but yeah.
So, I'll say favorite cruise itinerary has been the Iceland and Norway on Norwegian Prima. That was probably just slightly edges out my other cruises as far as best itinerary, I think.
Okay. And now we didn't talk about that. I can't believe I bypassed that. So for Iceland, like what was your favorite? Because I got to go back and watch that series. But what was your favorite excursion and feel? And tell me about the best thing about that cruise.
Oh, the landscape was just absolutely stunning. I loved Iceland, but Norway I think is one of the most beautiful places I have ever been. Cruising through the fjords and into the port of Geiranger will forever be, I think, one of the most like surreal experiences I've ever had. It was just stunning, absolutely stunning. I cannot recommend it enough. And unfortunately, Geiranger is not accepting large cruise ships anymore. So it was kind of one of the last cruises or that we're able to go. So I feel so fortunate that I was able to do that cruise.
Yeah. Wow. All right. And I have somebody, Mary is asking, how were the flights to Asia?
Long. I did upgrade to business class for my flight to Taiwan, and it was worth every single penny. I used points, so that's how I get a lot of my flights is on points through credit cards. So it's the way to do it.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at this next question because I'm assuming that you know the person. If you could take one of your siblings on a cruise, who would it be? All right. We need an answer.
I have 3 siblings, and they'll have to fight it out among themselves.
Okay, so you're just going to throw up the free ticket, and it's every person for themselves, whoever gets it.
Yeah. Whoever gets me the best birthday gift. Whoever gets me the best birthday gift.
Okay. All right. So, hey, the fight is on. Whoever gets the best birthday gift, and then how do you get an NCL balcony cabin as solo? And I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, that one, they have solo balcony cabins. So if you change your search on their Norwegian website to one person, you'll see it come up as an option. It's called solo balcony.
Okay. And let's see, for about Mr. Stoives, I guess I'm saying that right. For my last 6 I've been solo, never felt alone, having met wonderful cruisers and crew, which so that brings me to a question that I had on my list. Now I know you're an introvert, but so do you feel comfortable on your cruises, or do you walk up to people and initiate conversations, or do people, when they see you sitting alone, they come over and talk to you? And how does that work for you on cruises?
Yeah, usually I like sitting at a bar watching live music, for example, and I feel like that's a great way to get to know people. So sometimes I'll just sit there and naturally you just start talking to people and having conversations. And I'm perfectly fine for people to come up to me and start conversation unless I'm like actively head in a book or something, but I don't mind at all. And that's how I've met most of the people that I've met on cruises.
Okay, yeah. So do you get people trying to like adopt you and hey, you're solo, you don't have to be alone, you can come hang with us? Do you get that?
Yes, many times. I have I've been adopted by so many groups of amazing people. I've made so many friends that way. They're like, "What? You're by yourself? Not anymore. Now you're with us." And it's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We have Cheryl S saying, I did the NCL Viva for New Year's out of San Juan in January. That sounds
Good.
amazing. Love the solo cabin and lounge. Yes, I love that solo lounge. What do you think about the solo lounge? Do you go there to hang
I
out?
do. On the Prima, the Solo Lounge has like a really fancy coffee machine. You can make espressos and lattes and that kind of thing. And they've got like drink machines in there. And it's just a really nice place to go in the mornings to get a small breakfast. I think the perk of having access to the Solo Lounge is fantastic. And I do use it. Yeah.
I only sailed one NCL ship so far, the Breakaway, and to me that was like the best thing ever. That espresso machine in the solo lounge. I prefer that over like the coffee in the buffet in the main dining room. It was like just awesome.
Definitely.
Okay, and then we have let me see, Mrs. Stoys asking, we're going on the NCL Spirit in September to Japan. New to me, so any special advice, especially after being on there 14 days?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have any special advice, but my favorite spot on the ship was the Spice H2O adults only area with the pool at the very back. Amazing views, amazing location, quiet. I love that spot. Definitely check it out.
See now, and I noticed that because that was I did not like the H2O Spice on the Breakaway, but it looked like two completely different experiences. Yours, it looks like cushioned loungers and chairs,
Yes.
and it looks quiet and peaceful, so relaxing. Mine was the total opposite. And I was like, man, this adult spice, but I see, I just, and that's a thing I do want to, try different NCL ships, to because I know even all ships in the same cruise line are not the same. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that looks like such a peaceful
It
H2O
is.
spice. So let me see, we have another question, and we're getting down because I still have some questions I want to ask. But so Charles is asking, which cruise ship would you want to try out?
One ship that is on my like immediate list to try out is Sun Princess. I have never been on Princess Cruise Line, but I've
Okay.
heard amazing things. So that one is kind of up there on my list.
Yes. I did sail the Sun Princess, me and Raquel, who's in the chat, and we sailed it together the first time. I highly recommend it. A great
Yeah.
experience. We just did it was a Caribbean itinerary. I know you're going to find a different itinerary, so I know I'm going to be looking forward to that when you do.
If it cruise, that's why I haven't done it yet because I'm looking for something not in the Caribbean, but it's tough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then when are you coming over to the UK?
In May, I will be there in May on a cruise.
Okay. All right. So in May, she will be in the UK. All right. Sephora, hello from Canada. Wondering if you could share if you found romance cruising as a solo. If you want to share anything, if not, we can.
I mean, you can.
Okay.
I'm not really looking for it, so not really.
All right. Let's see. We have Charles. Any thoughts on NCL's new ship order shifting from smaller to larger ships? Do you have a preference of smaller or larger ships?
I do have a preference. I am not a huge fan of the mega ships, to be honest. It's like Icon of the Seas, Utopia. Like I'm not really a fan. That's not my preference when cruising. I like the smaller ships, and I like that they can go to more exotic places and ports. And the mega ships, you're limited to which ports you can go to. So for me, smaller I prefer, but I know that the popular thing these days are the big ships. So
Yeah. Let's see. And I'm trying to get there because I know it's already 4:29. This was fast.
it
All right.
did.
Let's see if we have any questions. I want to get their questions answered. Peter is saying hello from Bermuda. did first solo cruise on Spirit to Alaska 2 years ago and love the ship. Did Norway, Iceland, and on Star last year, and then doing solo on Pearl in May through Europe. Okay. And then we have Sarah saying, Mer, she loved your recent NCL cruise videos. Yes. Will you cruise with Ben again?
Never say never. Who knows?
All right. And loved your Canadian cruise and want to do it in 2026. I think she's done the best of all your guest roles. Oh yeah, they're talking about the Buster drill. You know, you've done the best. Yes. Need 60 seconds of fun. Okay. Let me see if we have any questions before we wrap up, because I don't want to hold you. Let me see. Enjoy new destinations. I still enjoy meeting new people. Yes. Love you both. Thank you. And okay, I see somebody. Hey, hi, Mara. Loved your recent NCL video. Okay, they're asking. Evidently, they love the Ben collaboration. So
apparently, I thought that was great. That we both kind of when we did the same things, our videos were different. Yeah, it was cool.
All right, guys. I'm gonna I'm kind of way up in the chat, so I'm just gonna skip through to see if I have any questions. Okay. Port looking forward to the most this year?
Every port in Hawaii.
All right. Finding vegetarian food is my biggest worry. Yes. Okay. Well, I am okay. Well, here's one. Is it? But I see Ben's name in there, so you're gonna have to talk to him after this live.
Yeah, exactly.
Any tips for booking solo excursions solo?
Just make sure that it's a reputable source and that you're guaranteed to get back to the ship on time.
All right. Have you tried the NCL Bliss?
Yes, I have been on the Bliss.
Okay. And did you vlog it?
No, that was before I was vlogging.
Okay. All right. And do people recognize you on your trips?
I have been recognized once, actually, on the Celebrity Beyond. Yeah, it was really cool.
All right. And okay, this is the last question, and then that's it. Okay. Greetings from North Carolina. Any plans to sell NCL Pride of America in Hawaii?
Well, first of all, I'm from North Carolina, so hello to a fellow North Carolinian. And yes, I will be on the Pride of America in the second half of this year. I'll just say that.
All right. Okay. Well, we are out of time, 3 minutes over, but I do want to have a final question of, for anyone solo cruising for the first time, what advice would you give them if they're afraid of solo cruising for the first time?
I would just say, don't be. It's very freeing, and just think about how you can be on your own schedule and do anything you want without anyone pressuring you to do otherwise, and just be confident. And the crew will take care of you. The crew will take care of you. They're such great people.
Yes, they are. I agree 100%. Well, this has been great. And once again, people can follow you where?
Mara Cruises Solo on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook page, everywhere.
All right. Well, thank you. It has been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for, coming on and, chatting with me for the Solo Cruise Chat. This has been enjoyable. It has flown by so fast. And who knows, maybe one day we'll cross ships out there somewhere.
I hope so. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I loved it. All
right. Thank you. So from here, I guess we are going to sign off, but you guys subscribe to our channel and watch those vlogs because they are absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, bye-bye, everybody.